Hi guys, Sandy Ingram here. Welcome to the Budget Retirement Options channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about, no matter what you've heard, there are still taxes on Social Security. I will explain. I am a tax professional. And two, we will discuss some happenings around the world that expats need to be aware of. And three, let's talk a little bit about what the COLA increase, the increase on the Social Security payments will be. And also, let's talk about the major changes that Social Security is making in payment procedures. So let's get right to it. And please do not hold it against me because I use professional electronic talent to help me deliver the news. Thank you so much.
So, a new law, which is actually part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, simply adds a temporary tax deduction for seniors. It's not a full repeal of taxes, just to be clear. The deduction is worth up to $6,000 for individuals who are 65 and older, or $12,000 for married couples. But it starts phasing out at $75,000 in income for singles and $150,000 for couples. This change could mean that about 88% of Social Security recipients will owe no federal income tax on their benefits for the next few years, which is actually up from about 64% before. But here's what's important for you to understand. The tax rules for Social Security remain the same. If your income is high or you're under 65, you may still owe taxes. So the deduction is temporary and, it's set to expire by 2028 or 2029. Lawmakers couldn't repeal the tax outright because the bill was passed through budget reconciliation, which, has limits on what can be changed. Experts warn that reducing Social Security tax revenue could, in fact, shorten the life of the Social Security Trust Fund, which is already projected to run low by 2034. Bottom line, this is a short-term tax break, not a permanent fix. If you're not sure how it affects you, it's a good idea to check with a tax professional. The important thing is not to overspend on your budget, believing that there will be no taxes this coming tax season. If your income is high, you still can end up owing taxes.
Now here's another important news update regarding Social Security payments and the COLA increase prediction for Social Security payments beginning in January of 2026. Now, there is an increase each year. Some years are more exciting than others.
Beginning September 30th of this year, 2025, all Social Security payments will be electronic. So, this means no more paper checks. It costs the government 50 cents to send a paper check and 15 cents to disperse money in electronic format. The best way to deal with this change is to open a bank account and have your money deposited electronically. So, you will receive a debit card from your bank, and that is how you can gain access to your money. All of us expats have a special relationship with the ATM machines in our cities around the world. It's really best to use ATMs at the banks, and not those side hustle machines for tourists, where your ATM card can be duplicated. ATMs at the airports are safe. However, the fees can be higher than at the local banks. Expats in Mexico know about the ATM card duplication scam. It is real. Also, the duplication of your digital data in your wallet is also real. Researching the RFID protection card is a good idea. Sandy purchased hers on Amazon, and when it arrived, she was concerned that it might affect the digital data on her credit cards. So far, no problems.
In other news, we learned that Social Security 2026 COLA is forecast to range between 2.4% and 2.7%. The average retired person would receive an additional $48 to $54 per month in January of 2026. This amount is not yet set in stone. The channel will keep you updated.
Moving right along, let's talk about safety issues that came up in the last 2 months for U.S. expats around the globe.
1. In late June 2025, the U.S. Department of State issued a worldwide caution security alert, advising American citizens, including those living overseas, to exercise increased caution globally. This alert was prompted by escalating conflict between Israel and Iran, which led to airspace closures, travel disruptions, and the heightened risk of anti-American demonstrations in multiple regions. Additionally, in Europe, an American college student visiting Denmark was detained for over 2 weeks following an altercation with an Uber driver. He was not criminally charged, but 2 weeks is a long time to sit in jail for a disagreement with a cab or Uber driver. This goes back to the rule of never get in the backseat of a taxi without first discussing the fare. The individual was held and barred from leaving the country despite arguing innocence, raising new concerns about wrongful detention of U.S. citizens abroad, which is happening around the globe more often. These incidents reflect elevated risks for U.S. nationals abroad, ranging from geopolitical tensions triggering protests, to local legal systems detaining Americans under unclear circumstances. Ongoing wrongful detentions of Americans in Venezuela continue to be a serious concern. Recent updates from the U.S. State Department highlight the persistent and significant risk of wrongful detention in Venezuela. U.S. citizens are still being held under opaque circumstances, with the U.S. government unable to gain any consular access. The travel advisory strongly reaffirms the do not travel guidance, citing risks like torture and kidnapping, and urges all U.S. citizens to depart immediately if they are currently in the country. 4. A U.S. academic was dismissed and detained in Thailand. Even though the main incidents happened just outside the strict 30-day window, the case of U.S. scholar Paul Chambers is still very relevant. Thai authorities dropped lèse-majesté charges in early May, but he was dismissed from his university without due process and officially left Thailand on May 29, following advice from the U.S. Embassy. This case has, sparked renewed concerns about academic freedom and legal protections for expats in Thailand. These developments really reveal some clear safety and legal vulnerabilities for Americans abroad, especially the risk of wrongful detention, extraterritorial political repression, and, the uncertainty of legal protections in foreign legal systems. For more information on potential threats to U.S. citizens and expats, please review the video on your screen. And don't forget to check out the description of this video for free and almost free resources for U.S. expats.